Good morning and welcome to the new edition of Live Comments. 65 years of war, 65 years of armistice, but no peace agreement. All the bluster and the testing of the nuclear bombs and ICBMs. All that talk of the nuclear war seems to have come to an end. Ultimately, just last week, all that talk of the doddering old man by North Korea and the little rocket man of the sound and fury by Donald Trump has apparently come to an end, and has it? For the first time possibly in the last 65 years, since the Korean War was halted. It was armistice. It was not a ceasefire. It was not a peace agreement. And the demilitarized zone was red hot, always ready to erupt into flames for the people. The recluse of North Korea was a bugbear for USA and for the world at large. And all were thinking, anytime the words could translate into pressing the button and ending in war. And then something happened. The threats emanating from the White House seemed to have an effect. And for the first time after the hostilities came to a stop, there was a meeting between the North Korean and the South Korean presidents. Moon met Kim, and out emerged an agreement which practically, if carried out, would end the war. That started in 1950 with the North Korean soldiers, and later on aided and abetted by Chinese soldiers, invaded South Korea, and that resulted into 3-year war till 1953, when they decided to sign an armistice agreement. But no formal treaty was signed. So it was officially still at war, though not actual firing was taking place. This was, as a matter of fact, a tacit understanding that the two countries would remain separate. North would remain a separate communist-dominated country, pariah of the free world, and South Korea would become an icon of the progressive, democratic, and technological progress, which it did. The standard of living in the two countries was abysmally different. One was in the dregs of poverty, though not of the sort that you see in the third world countries. The other was a blooming country. But it was a hermit kingdom. People were still happy, whatever the American propaganda may be. And now, this agreement says that these countries will no longer be on war with each other, and a new era of peace has decided. Now, what was decided in this meeting, which is giving hopes to the people? The first, no more wars. Second, a quadrilateral meeting to be held between North and the South Korea, then the US and China, to end the war. And then this DMZ, the demilitarized zone, will be converted into a peace zone. And then by August 15 this year, the families separated by war with family reunion programs would start, and the families will be reunited after 65 years. Would that be a real reunion? Is a psychological and social question. The families which have been separated by 65 years, do they remain as one single unit, cohesive unit? But anyway, not a bad idea. Then a joint liaison office will be opened in a shared economic development zone. And ultimately, they will have joint teams starting on 2018 Asian Games. We saw last time. And now the Asian we will see sometime in autumn. And leading to reunification. So ultimately, as just now when I was saying it, that the people are hoping would they be reunited? Yes, they have said that they want to be reunited. Because the people of the North would gain. And if both the countries are reunited, the way East German and West German were reunited. But that reunion took place much sooner. Here it's after 65 years. And a lot of brainwashing has been done in North Korea and in South Korea. Let's not deny the fact that all countries, whether they are democratic or dictatorial, indulge in brainwashing. The whole media is slanted towards that, and would that chasm, would that gap, the cultural, psychological, social, economic gap, be ever bridged. So these things are important. And next is, of course, on lines, what we know, the Trump-Kim meeting. And there's a hope that in case that happens, and Kim has given hope that he will not only destroy his nuclear weapons, but is open to the inspections immediately. This is what was done by other countries. The only fear Kim has that America is not trustworthy. As long as Trump is there, they were trustworthy. Not trustworthy for Libya, for Iraq, and for other countries. So Trump might be relied on, but would the other presidents coming after that would be as honest and as transparent as he is? So, though the credit for this meeting is going to Trump, there are certain lurking fears even today. Let's assume that everything is done, that the two countries share their capabilities and which are underdeveloped North, combine the export-oriented economy of the South, and the people are happy over there. The tensions can always be removed. And in case these tensions are removed, and the next meeting is successful, this ends 65 years of war. Now, some people said that why China should be there. Let's not forget that there were 4 major parties to the war. North Korea, South Korea, USA, and China. No agreement can be complete until and unless all the 4 countries sign the agreement. This next month, which starts tomorrow, and or in early June, when the meeting of the Kim and Trump takes place, would be a clear indicator of what is going to happen. And if that happens, the white balloons and the yellow balloons on the blue map of Korea's would really be blooming as flowers. Now let's come to the major thing. Kim Jong-un has very clearly said that disagreements, if they are there, would not mean non-implementation of the declaration, but negotiations, talks, and for the first time, this young leader is talking of discussions, talks, agreement, which again is a result of Trump's clear, unflinching statements that he'll prefer any war any day in case diplomacy is not successful. And threats seem to have worked. You see, what happened was North America was behaving like a typical bully. And when a bigger bully comes, the lesser bully always withdraws. And China didn't want the war to take place. Russia didn't want the war to take place because that is annihilating the whole economy. In 1953, China was a pariah. China was not a member of the United Nations. China's economy was as bad as that of North Korea today. It could take chances, but not today, when China is poised to be the economic leader of the world. And along with being the economic leader, it is likely to be the political leader of the world. So this agreement and the reunification, now, this holds a great hope for some of the people in the subcontinent of South Asia. Typically, India and Pakistan have been at war since 1947, basically since 48, but let's say definitely since 47. First Kashmir war took place. That was the first conflict of arms between the two countries, continuing till recently. The last being the Kargil war, but the skirmishes across the line of control, which again is not an international border. Now, families are also separated in Kashmir. Does this agreement prove to be a model for India and Pakistan? Can the same spirit be replicated? Can Pakistan leaders behave like Kim is behaving and Indians the way Moon has behaved? The initiative was taken by the Moon. It's always the big brother which takes the initiative. But if the younger one repulses the initiative, that's a fear. So the backroom diplomacy takes place. And the commitment is there that once the public offer is made, the junior partner, whatever you might say, you cannot deny that North Korea was the junior partner. Here, Pakistan, despite its being nuclear armed, cannot be equated. They may be equitable, yes, but equal, no. So, the junior partners can be even sometimes more strong militarily. But it's not only the military strength which counts, it's economic, political, social structure also. So if there is a guarantee by Pakistan that the advance by India would not be repulsed, quite possible the government of India might and should extend an olive branch. The millions of wars and the army paraphernalia can be used for the public upliftment. Now we have two outstanding examples in the world. First was the German reunification. That took place when Gorbachev came with a policy of perestroika. And now Korean, when Trump has come. And can you see two things in common? Another two things. Both times America was headed by Republican administration and by the presidents who were deemed wonky presidents, not conventional presidents, people with absolutely unconventional ideas. And if that happens, and that happened at the time of Reagan, when East Germany and the West Germany united and the Berlin Wall came crumbling down, and now, in case the DMZ turns into an Isle of Peace, isn't that basically a reflection on the foreign policy of America as well? Both Germany was supposed to be independent of the control, and yet America played a major role in ensuring that Gorbachev agrees to the reunification process. And now here again it's very clear, and even the foreign minister of South Korea has said that this would not have been possible until and unless this guy, Trump, had been so clear. And it's the transparent policies and the conviction behind the statements which matters. Now, coming back to South Asia, is it possible that the line of control can be mitigated and the families reunited, economy progresses, and there's peace? This will also put an end to the terror attacks across the border, because then the country would not have to be infiltrated. This is a time when if the third reunification, and not even if reunification, but if you just make the borders soft, the way they are between, shall I say, US and Canada? I was going to say Mexico, but with the coming in of wall, it will no longer be a soft border. But if all the countries of EU can have a soft border, and if North America can have a soft border, why cannot the South Asian have a soft border? And when I say South Asia, I don't only mean Pakistan and India. I include in that Bangladesh, Myanmar, Nepal, Bhutan, and Sri Lanka as well. Let that be a start at least. There's already a soft border between Bhutan and India, Nepal and India. Can we not have the same all over, and then leading to either a common market like Mercosur in Latin America, EU in Europe, NAFTA as it was earlier? And if you can have that, a common economic market with soft borders, who knows what can happen? Who knows that the supremacy of USA and China can be threatened, and this South Asian market emerge as the largest, not only economic bloc, but also the political power player and the leader of the world. Would the leaders of India and Pakistan have that imagination and that capability to take action? If they can have that, they'll go down in the history as the real human beings with large hearts and still deep understanding. I hope that if Kim and Moon can join, so should India and Pakistan, to have peaceful borders, free trade, and eventual brotherly relationship.